Hey, it's Annabelle. In this video, I give my office a transformation. I'm organizing and also redecorating both the digital and physical space. I have all the materials. I'm a little bit nervous to start because I have no idea what the result looks like. You do. I have two of these tables and only one of them is assembled. So rather than taking this off right now, Prairie's not gonna have a table to look out the window with. I'm going to use the second tabletop. I didn't do extensive research and I think I pulled it off, so I would say that any beginner can kind of do this. You just need patience. The first step is to sand, and I'm using 80, so it's pretty coarse, but maybe in hindsight I would have even gone down to 60 because after the first half an hour it really gets dulled out and I had to use so much arm muscle to get it smooth. But I realized that the fake wood veneer of the table actually came off until it looked completely white. So I just thought maybe to be safe, I should make the entire surface white, and that would give the paint something nice to cling to. I didn't do any experiments, so I'm not positive how harshly I had to sand it, but this was the most strenuous and laborious process. I think it took me like almost 3 hours to do this all by myself. I had this vision that the tabletop would be a very bubbly yellow color, and the sides should be a matching pastel that would coordinate with the rest of the room just to mix it up. But if you had more time and a specific theme to your room, I would also recommend planning out a pattern. Maybe you can draw like motifs on your tabletop. I planned my workflow to start with the sides. That was the easiest for me, and I had a few pastel colors here. Everything is interior wall paint and eggshell finish. Not that it matters because I'm going over everything with a finished glaze. I would recommend you to go in very light strokes and try to cover a lot of area with thin paint because the thicker it is, the more likely it is to clump and maybe peel off. So do 2 coats, and you can really tell when it dries up because from the side you can see when the moisture is disappearing, and it actually evaporates pretty quickly. So I was able to get the painting done all in one afternoon. Very exciting to begin with the tabletop. I have a roller for this and I bought a specific one that's meant for smooth surfaces. So the foam has very small pores. You can still see kind of like tiny texture of stubble. I don't mind it very much though because from afar it just looks like a completely smooth, solid yellow surface. Unfortunately, I didn't realize when I bought it that my paint rolling handle had a crack in the plastic. So I wound up breaking maybe 5 minutes in, which made it so annoying and hard to paint evenly. If you attempt this process, you'll kind of learn with experience how much pressure to give and also when to reload paint, because you'll notice that if you keep on rolling and go over previously painted areas, you're actually going to take off paint that you put down. With the second and third layer, you'll see that it begins to build up, and these interior wall paints are meant to be layered over without having too much skill or precision to make it look like one smooth surface. But do remember that paint dries a little darker than when it's wet. The most complicated process, once the painting is finished, I had to bring it downstairs to the building backyard and kind of do it discreetly because the varnish is very toxic to inhale. I believe that this is mainly used for wood floors or wooden furniture. I made sure to buy the water-based one because the oil-based comes with a yellow tint, which might affect the color that you were going for. I was also racing with the sun because it was almost 9 p.m. at this point. The varnish takes a long time to dry. By the second layer, it was nearly all dark out. There are some little gnats that were stuck to the table because they started landing on it in the dark. I had to take their corpses off. I had to wait a while for it to be dry enough to carry back upstairs, and I left it out in the hallway so the remaining fumes could just stay outside overnight. The next morning, my first task was to spray paint the table legs, and it's very straightforward. I just followed the instructions on the spray paint. If you've done it for other objects before, it's basically the same deal. Just make sure that you don't hold it too close because it will kind of cause drip marks. I waited a couple hours for them to dry and assembled it. So I bought a drill so that I can do other projects for home renovation, but I bought the wrong bit size, so I couldn't even use this to assemble my table, and I had to end up doing it by hand anyways, which was just dandy. Swapping out the tables, I'm gonna take the second one to my art studio that I just got last week, so you'll see a lot of the supplies and the mess start to clear out. So my home will mainly be office for video editing and my living space. I think it's looking really good so far, and the wall is quite bare. So tomorrow when it's bright again, I'm gonna do some painting plans. What I will work on, clearing stuff off my computer. So digital organizing and decluttering. I've been really meaning to also make some cute wallpapers, make it more cohesive with the space. But before I go on to that process, I want to talk about the sponsor of this video. It has made such a big difference to be able to use Identity as a command center because it helps you have a home base for your essential websites. You don't get carried away by some ad or recommended video, because for me, when I upload, if I don't go straight to the YouTube Studio desktop, it will take me to the home page and I always end up watching some really funny viral video, and then 40 minutes later I'll be watching and like clapping at some Olympic ice skating routine and crying because life is so beautiful. So this is my browser and what I've been working with, and I used to have maybe like 50 tabs open across. You make tiles of your most essential and frequently visited websites. Clicking the tile will take you directly to the website, which saves so much valuable time. And when it's the case of a login portal, say it's for school, or for me, I have weekly therapy, so I click it right away and your password and email are already copy pasted. Because here, I'm going to show you how to edit a tile. By doing that, you will put in your email and the password, and again, when you click it automatically already copies and pastes your password, and you don't have to worry about people accessing your very private accounts because you can lock the whole thing down. With Premium, I can add unlimited tiles. Right now I have about 40, and every time I happen to feel like, okay, I'm going to be visiting this place a lot, I will add a new tile. And also I've been playing solitaire. A lot of people have been enjoying it. It is very fun. So the way that the tiles are set up is all alphabetical. Then you can favorite your tile by clicking the menu like that. I wanted to show you that I turn on dark mode. And another aesthetic thing to mention is that these little thumbnails, a lot of them come built in if you use a very popular site, but you can also customize and put any thumbnail you want. So if you want to go as far as to design your own cute little ones, that would be really, really adorable, and you can upload it from your computer like that. So when you edit the tiles, once again, you will see over here category and tags. You can write and separate with commas any words that will help you filter out these tiles. When it comes to work, I filter that, maybe shopping. I have some of my favorite places, and for my shop. So you can see how it really narrows it down so you don't have to fish through a sea of tiles. There is also a calendar function and syncing to your Google Calendar. I don't use that personally, but I do know the function is there. I do use the notes and lists. Mainly, they're just kind of like quick links that I might need for the week, or it's like a quick reminder. Like, for example, I've been going back and forth about buying a new Polaroid. Every time I make a big purchase, I always kind of have to like think about it for a while. So I keep the link here because ordinarily I would have the tab up, and I can see how you can use notes and lists for a lot of other important reminders or to-dos or like homework and assignment deadlines and whatnot. If you're thinking about trying it out, my sign up link is right there in the description box, and I hope that you find it really helpful like I do. Let's carry on to the rest of the decluttering and my digital projects. I did not realize how messy my desktop was getting because some kind of browser is always open and I never saw the background, so this was very shocking to me. I tucked them away in their respective folders so that my background can look all neat again. Then I pulled out Procreate on my iPad. As much as I love photographs, I wanted something sketchy and fun to match with the office space and give it the vibe that I wanted to. I'm just warming up and not putting too much pressure on myself, so I'm gonna get in bed and sketch a bunch of different options and throw them on the computer tomorrow. I like using the calligraphy pen and chalk, and I changed up the size variation and played with some random abstract motifs and found something I actually really like. Look how cute it is. I'm gonna make more now. I've been really liking gradients lately and how soothing they look, so I was learning how to do that with Gaussian blur, but I'm putting just huge blobs of colors, and then once I put the effect on, seeing how they blend together, I'm going back and forth and tweaking it, adding and subtracting colors until I put on the effect and get my desired result. And I like the spectrum that I have going on. So I selected a blob and then copy pasted it and get the composition that I want. I want to do one more thing tonight. I realized I picked this up. It's not food. It's not edible. I mean, if you're a dog, maybe you would chomp on it and kill yourself. Just kidding. I love dogs too. And I think it's pretty straightforward. I just kind of plug this in. It comes with double-sided tape. Objective is very simple, just to line the desk in the areas that it's concealed. So I'll try to employ all 78 inches. Here's the deal though, I'm going to line the side of the table, my precious freshly painted table, just in case it makes the paint peel or something. I would be very sad. So cool, baby. We're gonna get so lit. The masking tape is right here. Careful. It would be nice if it was just 10 inches longer so it could fit, but the USB might not reach in that case, so. The only thing I didn't see coming is that you can notice the bulbs if it's too close to the wall. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It just looks like a line. Good morning. One day I was just going grocery shopping and one of our neighbors had left out this chair with a paper on it, which is free. So I very quickly ran with it upstairs, disinfected it. I love how it goes with the clear acrylic table I have in the kitchen section. I just want to repaint the metal legs because currently the way it's manufactured, it's supposed to emulate brass, but it just has this kind of tacky paint finish on it. And I thought, why not match it with the table legs? Originally I was thinking maybe like a bright tomato red, but I couldn't find that spray paint at Home Depot. So I think this goes really well too. And the last big project I have for the room is painting a mural in the background. So I'm gonna cut a cardboard curve and use that as a stencil to repeat it rather than freehand it or make a grid on the wall and then like have to freehand every single thing. As long as you're not very strict about every wave being like a semicircle, if you do, then maybe trace a bowl. First, draw a straight line as your guide. I did that on my wall by measuring 15 inches from the corner. I put the flat edge of my stencil along the straight line guide and then trace it. Then I flip it horizontally because if you don't do that, you're gonna end up with scallops. And then putting the tip of the curved edge onto the straight line guide so it's like a tangent. So where the two ramps converge, it might be a little bit crooked and you're gonna end up with this tail that goes nowhere, so just erase that. As long as you get a smooth blend, that's what the stencil is there for, is to guide you. And just try to repeat this every single time. What's great about cardboard is that it's sturdy enough, but also flexible so that you can paint all the way down to the wood floor and bend it like this. And very straightforward, just start filling it in and paint. I'm really glad that I ended up painting the ceiling. I think it looks much better now that I've connected it, and it kind of looks like a cool illusion of a funky shape. Now it is time to just put everything in place and we are done. Voila! And I have this really comfy pillow here. Yeah. As you see, I also decluttered, moved a lot of stuff into my art studio where my supplies now belong, and I am so in love with this new office space. There's still going to be decorating on this wall, I think maybe a wall shelf, but I do want to keep this white so that it can bounce the light around. But for now, this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my content, my creativity. Thank you to Identity for working with me again and sponsoring this video. Show me if you end up doing some transformations to your room or flipping your IKEA furniture, and I hope you have fun with it. Take care of yourself and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye!